How's it going? I'm Tracy Thomas. Yes, that Tracy Thomas. The guy behind the Magic Bullet, the Snuggie, and the Shake Weight. But I got a new product to show you, and to be honest, it's my favorite. It's made from milk, so you know it's natural. Its name is MI Paste with Recalcitrant. It's made by the GC America company. That's right, I said America. It's made right here in the Heartland, folks. It's got a lot of uses, but I'll just name 3. It can reduce your tooth sensitivity, it can buffer your plaque acid, and it can strengthen your enamel. But don't take my word for it. Let's go look at some of these uses in more detail. So I hear you're suffering from xerostomia. Oh man, that is bad. Well, I got a product for you. It's called MI Paste. Why don't you put this on? Now, Recalcitrant is something that's in MI Paste. It's got calcium and phosphate, which increases saliva flow. But for the best results, you got to keep it on for 3 minutes. Well, I'd say it's been about 3 minutes. Why don't you open up? Let's have a look.
Oh, that's so much better. I can talk. I have saliva. I can taste.
This MI Paste really works, doesn't it?
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, you know what, Tracy? I actually just got my braces off last week. I've had them on for 2 years. Got prom coming up next week. I was really excited. You know, she wanted some nice pictures, and I wanted to look like a stud. So we got the braces off, but I had white spots on all my teeth from the braces. What the dentist said was it was from plaque building up and, you know, demineralizing those areas around my teeth. And so what he offered me was this, MI Paste. What it does is prevent and remineralize those white spots, optimizes tooth enamel appearance, and increases the reflectivity of the enamel. So now when I go to the prom, picture's going to be nice and shiny, girl's going to be happy, should be a good night.
Well, I bet you're going to have a great time. Let's take a look at his before and after shots. So we've seen a couple of the uses of MI Paste, but it can also be used to protect against damage from acid caused by drinking sports drinks.
The big shot. Can Tracy Thomas get a spot over here?
Or from a pregnancy. Excuse me, man, do you need a little help?
Yes, please. Oh, thanks, Tracy Thomas.
No problem. How far along are you?
About 2 months.
Oh, she's going to be a few, I can tell. This product really is amazing.
Oh, man. My teeth are really sensitive lately.
Really? Maybe you have a cavity or a tooth decay. You know, I heard about this product. I can't think of the name of it, but it has Recalcitrant, which comes from milk, and it has calcium and phosphate to remineralize your enamel. Yeah, covering those nerve endings. That might help you. What's the research?
Excuse me, miss. I think the product you're thinking of is MI Paste. I use it, and I love it. Hi, Tracy Thomas. Nice to meet you.
Alright, we can take out your bleaching tray.
Okay.
How are your teeth still?
They're a little bit sensitive.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stop right there. Did Tracy Thomas just hear something about tooth sensitivity? Why don't you tell this man a little bit about MI Paste?
Alright. MI Paste, it helps out with tooth sensitivity a lot. It does it by adding calcium and phosphate to your enamel by covering up the 3 nerve endings.
Okay.
It's pretty easy to use too. You just take a little bit, apply it to your finger, apply it evenly across the teeth. Alright, let it sit for about 3 minutes, and then rinse it out, spit it out, and you're fine.
Oh, I can already feel it.
Yeah?
That sensitivity.
Well, we've heard a lot about cool uses of MI Paste, but I'm still not sure how it works. So why don't we go drop in on an actual dental school lecture to see if they can give us a little bit of insight on how this stuff works. Come on.
The tooth spot.
Hey, Professor Kimberly.
Tracy Thomas, I thought we weren't meeting until 7:30 tonight.
What Tracy Thomas does in his personal life isn't what I'm here to talk about. What I am here to talk about is a product called In My Paste. You know anything about it?
Oh, of course. Let me see what I have. Maybe we can go through a couple slides.
All right, great. I knew she'd know.
Okay, so we'll talk about In My Paste and its histology. But before you can really fully understand In My Paste, you need to understand the anatomy of the tooth. So here on the outside of the crown is the enamel, and we already know that it's made up of 96% of minerals. And then underneath that is the dentin layer, and it's in the crown and in the root, and it protects the pulp, and it's made up of 70% minerals. And then we have the cementum, which is only in the root, covering the dentin, and it's made up of 45% minerals. And then last is the pulp, which is the nerve and the blood vessel. And as you know, the high mineral content in enamel makes it the hardest tissue in the body. And the two minerals that we'll be talking about today is calcium and phosphate. Together, calcium and phosphate form crystals, or what's known as hydroxyapatite. And these crystals arrange themselves in such a way to form billions of rods. It's important to talk about tooth decay too to understand In My Paste. So the process here, we start with ingesting carbohydrates, and then the plaque bacteria in the oral cavity feast on the sugars and release organic acids, like H+. And the acid still can get in between those tightly packed rods and alter the pH balance. And then calcium phosphate crystals dissolve and move out of the enamel and into the saliva. Okay, so something else important to talk about is recalcitrant, which is the main ingredient in My Paste. So we'll talk about where it comes from. And it comes from milk, and like we all know, milk forms strong bones and teeth. And it's actually the protein casein that's responsible for that. The specific amino acid sequence is serine, 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 glucine, glucine. And it's the University of Melbourne in Australia that determined this through about 20 years of research. They called it casein phosphopeptides, or CPP, and this binds to amorphous calcium phosphate, also called AMP. CPP and AMP together form recalcitrant. And normally, combining calcium and phosphate ions will result in the formation of insoluble calcium phosphate crystals, but in the presence of CPP, they remain in an ionic form that can diffuse into the tooth enamel. So how does recalcitrant work? Well, recalcitrant first binds to the dental plaque, creating a high concentration of calcium and phosphate ions. Because of their high concentration, these ions move into the spaces between the rods, leaving the peptides bound to the plaque. Without the peptides, these ions reform crystals, which then restore and strengthen the rods of enamel in the teeth. So here we're going to watch a little video clipping from mipaste.com just to give you a brief summary. So the first thing that occurs is white spot lesions on the enamel surface, which is the first sign of demineralization. Biofilms come in and attach to the enamel surface, and then bacteria come in and feast on the sugars, which release acids like hydrogen plus that can attack the enamel. So here you'll see the hydrogen plus that come in between the rods, which dissolve the calcium and phosphate, which release back out into the saliva. With the help of My Paste, remineralization of the enamel can occur. So as you apply it to the surface of the tooth, recalcitrant can bind to the enamel surface and release more calcium and phosphate to help restore the rods. The calcium and phosphate ions crystallize onto the rods, and then the enamel can regrow and re-strengthen. And here it's going to show it again. Calcium phosphate come in, and then the white spot lesion is fixed. That's it. And that's pretty much it. That's all I know.
Oh, well, I guess now we know all there is to know about MI paste. We still don't know what's in it, so why don't we go try to find a doctor to